All right, everybody, we are live. This is Do and Da. I am Do.
I'm still da.
hmm And welcome back to Do and Da. All right, today we uh we got a very special episode. It's a little bit of variety up in here. All right, I think we're gonna talk about a little bit of entertainment. Um, maybe get a little bit political. I'm not trying to. If you're not a political person, don't tune away, okay? You might enjoy it, or maybe I might lose all hope to getting us sponsors. Either way.
And I want to get into, of course, I'm going to talk about the Yankees just for a little bit, and which might lead into a couple of my pet peeves.
Mm-hmm.
The the only complaint really I have this week about the Yankees, besides playing Aaron Judge again tonight, after he just dropped the fly ball and then didn't go after it, and then he strikes out like every time he bats. For some reason, they have not released him yet. That's one of my wonders.
You mean Aaron Hicks, not Aaron
I'm sorry,
Judge.
Aaron Hicks. Did I say Judge?
Yes.
Okay, not Aaron Judge. I don't want him released. Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks. So Judge is up to 57 homers as we speak. They're playing currently. Hopefully he gets to 62. Um, but I saw Gleyber Torres on tonight on an interview. Okay, and his eyebrows, like one of them, he has like shaved, like in the middle of his eyebrow, and I found out from my daughter that that's actually done on purpose. Another thing these kids do that I'll never understand. It looks like he got a he got a cut or something on his eyebrow, a serious cut where he had to have stitches, and then he can't grow hair back. That's what it looks like. Um,
Now, for those of you who don't know or have any idea what he's talking about, um, this is the type of thing that it is. It's called an eyebrow slit, okay? And like I said, it's usually just one sort of like line,
which doesn't make sense or look good either, but
but sometimes there's two. I've seen that as well. But um, here's a Torres one.
yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, that's a Torres one right there.
so that's the type of thing that we're talking about
Is
right
there a
now.
camera set up right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the type of thing that we were talking about.
So my pet peeve with that, well, I'll get into my pet peeve
Oh,
in a
oh
second.
no, wait. One of our viewers says it looks really cool.
Oh,
Alex. Alex.
okay. Okay, well, if that looks really cool, I just wondered why these kids wanted to look like destruct themselves, be destructives with themselves. For instance, one of my pet
Boomer.
one of my pet peeves, which everybody that knows me knows this, is
Rip jeans.
ripped jeans.
Okay, now here's the thing. How long have has like ripped jeans been around for
Too
though?
long. One
So
day is too long.
so that's what I'm saying. Okay, I don't think you can blame the younger generation for that because it's been around for so long. Okay,
I'm not blaming the younger generation. I'm saying kids. When I mean kids, I mean like kids your age.
that is the younger
And
generation.
no, there's another. Isn't there another generation coming up after yours?
I don't know. I don't know,
Isn't
but
it your generation? What,
I
Z or
think
something?
I yeah we're Gen Z, but
Isn't
I
there another one
think
coming up after that or not? Did they name the next? like
I
they're
don't. I
20 almost now. So
Yeah, well, I think that Gen Z should have been cut off after like 2008, okay? Because the the technology that the kids born in even 2008 versus me in 2003 had when they were growing up was like completely different, okay? Like I don't even know how to explain it more than that. It's just it's a whole other generation. They shouldn't be qualified as Gen Z, but I
okay,
guess it's just how years work.
well,
I don't know what the new one's called, but there is another one. But I think the generation that really introduced ripped jeans was millennials, the one above Gen Z, because like ripped jeans were popular in the 90s, maybe even in the 80s a little bit.
what?
Yeah,
No shot.
probably like 80s
Well,
R&B type stuff.
wherever it came from, okay. It just looks. I mean, when I used to rip, we used to rip our jeans when we were kids. My mom put patches on them. Anybody that it's relatively around my age will tell you the same thing. I wish I would have saved those jeans now because I could have sold them for $65, $70 probably right now. It just looks ridiculous. Ripped jeans. You tell me how that looks cool. The ripped jeans. Tell me.
I personally want to wear ripped jeans. I don't. I mean, I get it. Maybe adds a little extra flair or something. I don't know. But if you want flair, I would actually go with flare jeans, flared pants. That's a style that I approve of.
That's
That's all I
fine.
gotta
That's
say.
fine as long as it doesn't have rips in it. The next thing that's going to happen, I'll make a prediction right now, okay? The next thing that's going to happen is these kids are going to buy a brand new car off the parking lot and they're going to
The
smash it
parking
into
lot.
off of a auto parking lot
Okay.
and then they're going to smash it into a wall just to make it look cool, right?
I
Just to
think you're
just to,
going a little bit too
no,
far.
that'll be the next thing that will happen because it'll just everything that everything that you guys, your kids do is just destructing your either your face or your clothes or something, and that would look cool to you guys.
Maybe like here's the thing. I think you're taking it to extremes because most people.
Possibly,
Yeah, you are. But I
possibly,
know you're
maybe,
joking around. I know you're
maybe,
joking around.
maybe.
But like I don't know. I feel like most of the people that really the only people that really care about the trends are like celebrities and then like the people that really follow celebrities. That's I feel like that's more of the target audience there. But ripped jeans, I mean, are worn by everybody, and some people think it's cool. I don't get it. I listen. I don't know why ripped jeans are more expensive than regular jeans now, or even harder to find than regular jeans. That kind of bothers me. Maybe I just don't like showing skin like that. And also, speaking of, one of my pet peeves in clothing, which has been around for literally like ever, is crop tops because whenever I go to like any section of like a woman's clothing store or whatever, I'm always find like this really cool like graphic tee design, and then it's folded in half. I pick it up and it's always got to be a crop top that cuts off like right here. It's like I don't want to show my stomach out in public. Like why? I don't know. I mean, I get if you have confidence to do that, then do that. But also, wouldn't you just rather wear a shirt? I mean, I don't know. It's just everywhere I go, it's hard. It's really hard to find specifically, I think, women's clothing that doesn't show a lot of skin. You know.
Well, I personally try wearing crop tops, and the carrots and the lettuce were fine, but the corn on the cob
Mm.
it was stuck out a little bit too far, the corn on the cob. So I stopped wearing the crop tops.
Gross.
Anyways, what else was I going to say about the Yankees today? Oh, their rookie that they called up, Peraza, because they called him up. He was a shortstop, and they called him up. He's doing pretty good, and he did a heck of a job for 4 or 5 games they played him, and then all of a sudden he hasn't played in like the last 5 or 6 games. Why they're not playing him, I don't know. He did great on defense. He did good on hitting, and all of a sudden they just make him disappear. And I don't agree with that. If you're not going to play him, send him down. Let him play in the minor leagues. He's a kid. He needs some reps.
Right.
And that's it for the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. Well.
What happened this week? Major. I can't.
Now, your dang phone always goes off. Okay. I think you might have lost our only viewer, by the way, because they thought that the eyebrow thing looked really cool, and now they're gone. So, yeah, you lost our only viewer because, listen, I knew you were gonna get us canceled one way or another. Okay. Anyway,
he or she is probably, because Alex can go both ways, right? Could be a girl or a boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They. Just say they.
Oh, them, they. No, I'm going to say he or she.
Oh my God, you're getting us even more canceled. Shut up.
He or she probably is looking to endorse her product on our show, is what I'm thinking.
You're thinking they're a potential sponsor?
You
just lost them because you said he or she.
I think they made up their mind that they're going to sponsor us. And they're working up a contract as we speak.
Alex Der Klein.
Don't say their name on the air.
What? That's her username. They're putting it out there. It's like if somebody gifted us money, Dad, you say, thanks for the gift, and then you say their username.
Okay,
that's their username.
When we get permission, and if they give us money, then we'll cross that bridge.
Right. Anyway, I'm having a really hard time thinking of some national news, that came out from this week. There's really not a lot that happened. Really, I mean, I can't think of anything that happened, and it's just,
Somebody passed away, I think, this week.
I think somebody, it's just like on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. I can't think of it.
I'm trying to think, too.
You know who it was?
Who?
It was like that, that government person, you know who I'm talking about? That government person.
Oh, you mean Clinton's?
No. Oh, I know who. Okay, wait, hold on.
Ken Starr.
Ken Starr, that's who it was.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of
somebody popular. Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it was like a really big deal for, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And I'm sure a lot of people are still grieving right now.
Yes. You can't do a show without talking about somebody died, even though we don't like to bring politics into our show.
Yeah, even
though we're going to have a show on politics. One of these times.
But, in all seriousness, if we have any British viewers out there, I'm really sorry for your loss. I'm sure it must be hard for you to lose your favorite racist. I'm sure, it's really hard because, man, could she fund a genocide? I mean, folks, look what happened in Kenya.
People in Ireland got to be heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad. I mean, here, let me just name off some of the few things that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has achieved. All right, Now, let me pause the music for this. Let me pause the music for this, and then I'll go back to it. All right. So as I was saying, um, the if you want to go to the Guardian, the Guardian, the Guardian actually covered a story about the Kenyan concentration camps that were similar to the Russian gulags, by the way. Just if anybody was interested, it's basically the same thing as a Russian gulag. Um, the first year that the Queen was in power, one of the first things that she enacted was signing a bill that funded the building of these concentration camps in Kenya. So that was one of her first achievements. It's really great.
Wait, she actually was in charge of something at one time?
Yeah, this was actually when they somewhat had like somewhat control. This was, I think it was in the 50s, I don't know, 50 something. It happened. Anyway, it's the Mau Mau Uprising is what it's called. All right, if anybody's interested. They tried to cover it up. Um, let's see. Here's the districtify.com covered top 10, by the way, top 10, not just like all of them. Top 10 shady things that the royal family has covered up. So, let's just Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were absent and bad parents. Undebatable. They they went on a 6-month vacation after Prince Charles was born. So like Queen Elizabeth gave birth to Prince Charles and then said peace out for 6 months. Oh, Her Majesty was so helpful to her country. A 6-month vacation right after her children was born, all right? Anyway, they were just not present. They were bad parents. That's just one example I wrote down, okay? Um, they enforce weird oppressive rules on their in-laws, aka Princess Diana and Meghan Markle. Top 2 examples right there. Speaking of Princess Diana and Meghan Markle, they made Meghan Markle get rid of her dog when she married Harry because her dog wasn't a purebred. Which is funny, actually, because that's all that the royal family is, because they just commit incest all the time. So technically, they are purebred. They are racist. Now, like I'm saying, not including the family's ties to the slave trade or their suspicious friendship with the Nazis. Look it up. There is a picture of Queen Elizabeth and her family saluting Hitler. Crazy. It's really crazy, but it's true. Well, okay. Philip, Prince Philip, once asked in Aboriginal Australian, whatever that means, do you still throw spears at each other? This was in like the last 5 years. He said to a group of British students in China, if you stay here much longer, you'll all be slitty-eyed. Making fun of their eyes. He in 2004, the Queen told a group of black diners to go back to the colonies.
What year was that?
2004.
Wow.
Of course, she...
And I wonder how dark your baby will be.
Yep.
For her granddaughter, right?
Right. Meghan Markle again. She said,
allegedly.
Come on now.
They left for a reason, right?
Right.
He pulled out of the royal group, whatever they call them, for a reason. He had it made over there.
Right. Infidelity, cheating, very common throughout all of
Charles.
the royal family, right? Everything. I mean, Charles is the most well known. How about this? Prince Andrew. The Queen covered up Prince Andrew's controversy, which is basically he was just involved in a human trafficking ring with minors. His best friend, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein, went to Jeffrey Epstein Island at least, I think on the flight logs, it was 5 times, something like that. Just on the flight logs that were released, by the way. Just on the flight logs that were released. And there is a picture of Queen Elizabeth, the picture proof, of Queen Elizabeth lending her vacation home cabin to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So they were really close friends. I mean, that's friends that you want to have, right? Friends in the right... Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to play the... So you have the friends in the right places, right? And, the family didn't get along with Princess Diana. That's what it says on here, which, I have a quote in here, so... Oh. The Queen, after Diana died, it took her 5 days to even mention anything about Princess Diana. 5 days. Did not make a statement. Did not make a statement at all. She, yeah, the royal family refused to raise the flag half-mast, which is what they do when a member of the royal family dies. Refused to do that. And the Queen, like I said, didn't even release a statement until 5 days after she died because the media got on her about it. They're expensive to taxpayers. I mean, that's just taxes, but they don't do anything. Oh, here's my favorite. They acted like members of the family with learning disabilities didn't exist. Okay? So...
Such as?
Okay, Catherine and Nerissa Bowes-Lyon, which is the daughters of John Herbert Bowes-Lyon, the Queen Mother's brother. And his spouse, okay, Philena, whatever the hell her name is. They were the first cousins of Queen Elizabeth II. However, they were not spoken of for years and treated as a dirty secret in the family as they were born with learning disabilities. After their father died in 1930, the two were placed in the Royal Earlswood Hospital, located in Red Hill, London in 1941, but they weren't the only members of the royal family born with this disability. Fenella's sister, Harriet, had 3 children with a similar developmental issue. And all 3 of them were also placed in the hospital. By the way, if you're wondering how they got this disability, it's because they were products of incest. Just saying. What's shocking about the treatment of Catherine and Nerissa is that they were treated as if they were dead. In fact, they wrote up fake death reports reporting that the two had passed away in 1940. Nerissa passed away in 1986 and placed in a grave with a name tag and a serial number. Catherine died in 2014 at 87 years old. And that's how actually it got leaked, because of her death. That's how it got leaked. They were trying to cover it up, once again. So, and then, yeah, it says the royal family had a ton of secrets. They also removed one of these, I don't know, it's some honorary British title that they give whoever, like, the princess is or something. And they removed that title from Princess Diana because she supported an AIDS campaign. God save the Queen.
Well, I heard a lot of people in England don't like her either. But I mean, England is the first country that would come to our aid if we ever got in trouble, right? United States. So I respect the country for that, and I just don't understand. I didn't realize that the Queen was ever in charge. I always thought they were just fake figureheads, like they are
Well,
now.
I mean, they technically always were. They just technically had a say in what the government funded at one time. They didn't even do anything. They just said, can the government. Basically, Parliament and the Prime Minister is the one that does everything, right? Which is another reason why as you can tell, I'm a big fan of the Queen and the royal family. So, like, but that's another reason why I'm such a big fan is because they literally don't do anything. They're just figureheads and everybody treats them, especially I mean British people mostly, treat them as if they have done everything for their
Right. It
country.
used to be in the olden days, right? Kings and queens used to actually rule the country, and now they. I mean, these people. I don't even. I just don't understand it. Why they even. It's like they're. It's like a charade. It's like a fake. Uh, I don't understand it. I'm ignorant to the to what why they continue this royal family when they have a prime minister and he runs the country. I just don't understand.
Well, um
That's
Dad,
one of my English
Dad,
friends are calling me.
we're canceling your show. That's probably the you know those giant those British soldiers with the big the big like
Helmets.
black hats
Yeah.
on. That's one of them calling me like you have 24 hours to delete this podcast, mate. And if you don't delete this podcast, I'm a, I'm gonna be madder than a box of frogs. Just you wait. I'm gonna serve you in a dish on beans on toast and fish and chips. Just you wait, bruv. I mean, the British people are really all the same.
What do you mean?
They're just
You can't say that.
okay. No, okay. Every British person besides the Beatles and Queen, not the Queen, Queen, are idiots.
The rock stars.
The rock stars. That's the one thing I'll give Britain. They gave us music,
The best music.
the best music. Michael Jackson was American.
Okay, 4 out of 5 best music.
Yeah, exactly. So I applaud you for that. But everything else, I don't applaud you for at all, actually.
Queen on my list is the number 2. My
Mhm.
number, my
Mm,
at least my number 2. So they're both from England, right? So
right?
that's pretty good as far as the music goes. But we'll have a music one sometime, probably after football stops, because we'll
Mhm.
devote an entire show to music, at least one show. So is that it for? You all done with the Queen?
I I'm I'm all done with the Queen. I just want to say again, imperialism was literally created by Britain, Great Britain. So they're still taught in their schools the way of imperialism, which is basically just British propaganda. So yes, that's why that many British people appreciate the Queen and think that their country does no wrong because they're taught to think that way.
Mm.
So genuinely, I feel bad for some of these people. Obviously, it's not all British people, right?
It's like watching CNN.
Yeah, honestly, but like yeah, so I feel bad for you. Just if you're British and you're watching this right now, you probably already clicked off as soon as I said it. But like if you're still watching this, I want you to look up the Sepoy Mutiny. Sepoy Mutiny. Just look it up and tell me if you're still proud of your country. Okay. Now move on.
Yes. She's a history buff, and she looks up and researches just about everything before she would put it on the air like this. By the way, so you can bet it's true.
Thank you for my credibility.
Okay. Now let's get into our fantasy football team.
Oh, wait, or do you want to talk about football first or Cobra Kai first?
Oh, I forgot about Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm. So, in case you don't know, which you should, but I met a person that didn't know not only what Cobra Kai was, but what the Karate Kid was. So I'm not doubting anything anymore. But if you don't know what Cobra Kai is, it's basically a continuation of the Karate Kid movies.
30 years later.
Right. But it's good. Pretty much all
It's
the
really
it's
good.
really really good. It's all of the original cast pretty much is in it,
Mm-hmm.
except for Mr. Miyagi because Rip Mr. Pat Marisha or whatever however you say his last name, can't pronounce it, but R.I.P. to the goat. But they do carry on Mr. Miyagi's legacy very well though. There's a lot of references in the show to him, even though he's not physically there. But I just want to say, I think this season of Cobra Kai, I don't want to like spoil it just because it just came out, but I will say this season is probably my favorite season of Cobra Kai so far. I think it was the best.
I agree, but the whole Cobra Kai it's a phenomenal show if you haven't seen it. I mean, Karate Kid, as far as the movie goes, I mean, I thought it was okay. It was pretty good. She loved it, but I thought it wasn't, one of my top movies of all time. And then she started watching this Cobra Kai, and I was like, I didn't really want to watch it, and she taught me into it. I'm glad she did because it is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, if you got Netflix, um, this I agree. Season 5 that just came out, we watched it actually in one night. Got it
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, or it
It's
came out
that good.
Friday night,
It's
and
that
we
good.
watched it all the way through from the time I got home from work. So it's a really, really good season and a really, really good show, even from the started from the beginning. And I know my guarantee of my football bet didn't come through this week, but I'll guarantee you nobody will be disappointed watching that show.
Some people critique Cobra Kai by saying that it's too much like a soap opera because of the fact that there's like the dialogue and stuff like in some parts where it's like the relationships between the kids and stuff like that.
They have a few things going on. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's kind of what makes the show because they have so many
Hmm.
subplots going on that are actually interesting. Because it's not if they just made a show that was just the adults, just Danny and Johnny and Chosen and Kreese and Silver, everybody, it would just be Karate Kid 4. It wouldn't be Cobra Kai.
Right.
So they needed a younger generation. They technically have three generation stories going on right now. They have the story of like the Vietnam vets, Kreese and Silver, and the older senseis.
Hmm.
And then they have the middle ground, which is Daniel and Johnny and their wives and whatever. And then they have the new generation of
They're kids,
kids,
right? Yeah.
right? Which is like, for honestly, I know people that know Cobra Kai and have not watched Karate Kid, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But people are getting into it and being like, I didn't know Karate Kid, so their Karate Kid is Cobra Kai. So that young generation, like Miguel in the show, is like their Daniel LaRusso, which is kind of crazy to think about. But like the relationship, the dialogue can be like kind of like, okay, we get it, you're inspirational or whatever, but at the same time, that's kind of what the Karate Kid movies were about to inspire. I mean, Mr. Miyagi talked about like, Daniel-san, it is in here, not here, Daniel-san. So it's like, it's supposed to be like that. It's karate. Come on, it's gonna be mystical. You're gonna have that stuff. You're gonna have those relationships or whatever. But in no way, shape, or form is this like a soap opera, because if it
No.
was, there wouldn't be these scenes like action scenes and whatever. It's interesting.
The guy in Karate Kid, if the people who have seen Karate Kid, Johnny, the one that is the Kreese said sweep his leg.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch that, sweep his leg
No Mercy.
when Danielson got hurt there. Um, he is actually a good guy now on the show. Most of the bad guys stay bad, and most of the good people stay good. But Johnny actually turned into a pretty good guy, and he's just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He is so funny. I mean, his character is so funny on that show. You just be sitting there rolling. It's the stuff he says.
Yeah, it's really cool what they did with Johnny's character too, because it's so realistic. If this is actually what happened in real life and he lost that way at the All Valley tournament, you know that's how his life was gonna turn out. Like I don't they basically explain that all in the first episode. Like if you watch Cobra Kai, you start watching it right now, you're gonna think that the whole show is just about Johnny at first, because it's literally Johnny. It's a story about Johnny at first, and then it's like, oh, here's Daniel, he's doing this, and then they meet again, and it's like, oh no, again, I don't want to spoil it, just go watch it. But a little sidebar about Johnny is that they did something, you know what I'm talking about, a scene with Kreese where
Yeah, yeah.
in
In
there's
number 5.
yeah, season number 5, where I don't know how they pulled this off. I mean, I do know like it's CGI, but it's just honestly that scene alone is like crazy. That's worth watching in my opinion. Just for that. That was awesome what they did. It's really cool. And the season finale, the fight in the season finale was my favorite fight they did.
Yeah, a lot of the fights aren't fights. They're tournaments. They're competitions. Most of them is the Valley competition. You know, they're not like fighting all the time, but they get close to a lot of fights. Most of them turn into nothing.
Right. It's mostly like some like arguments a lot of the time, and
Yeah,
it's like, oh, we're not gonna see anything.
but it's a phenomenal show. It's really good.
But I mean, like by fighting, I mean like action
Right.
sequence. This season finale's fight was my favorite, and I don't think that the people that haven't watched Karate Kid won't appreciate it as much as the people who did watch Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying? So, but just go watch the show. It's an amazing show. And since we're talking about entertainment a little bit, the Emmys were just yesterday, right? Or the day before. Which is basically the TV awards. There's been a little
You
bit of
watched it. I didn't.
right, but there's been a little bit of controversy. Because those who have watched Breaking Bad, okay, Breaking Bad was a television show that had like tremendous success, like Emmys, awards. You know, it's good. It's good. It's a good show. Um, there is another kind of like Cobra Kai. It's kind of like a spin-off of Breaking Bad. It's in the same universe. It's about one of the characters that are in Breaking Bad. His name is Saul Goodman. Okay, and it's called Better Call Saul. Well, his like persona is Saul Goodman, but whatever. It's called Better Call Saul, and this show just ended after 6 seasons, and it is considered very a good show. It's considered a good show. It's highly liked, especially right now. It kind of started trending a little bit. Anyway, Better Call Saul was nominated for Best Drama Series. The actor who plays Saul, I think his name is Bob Odenkirk, was nominated for Best Drama Actor, and the actress who is also in the show was nominated Best Drama Actress. all through all these years of Better Call Saul, they have not won one Emmy, and everybody every year is like snubbed. You know, it's one of those things where it's a popularity type of thing, uh, popularity contest or
So what
whatever.
happened this year?
They were snubbed. Now it's the last season. Now technically they didn't count. They only counted the first part of the season in the Emmy Awards. So it is possible that in next year's Emmy Awards they could win all the
From this
awards,
year.
right? But everybody was upset because it's the last season, and also a little fact: Bob Odenkirk, or however you say his name, who plays Saul, he actually died on the set of the show. He had a heart attack, and he got resuscitated or whatever, and he lived, obviously, and so they finished the show. But like he acted a little too hard, if you know what I'm saying. Cause I mean, it really like I'm pretty sure I don't know because I actually like I haven't watched. I don't know what episode he had the heart attack in, but somebody said that like his body actually believed like he was acting like he was having a heart attack and then he had a heart attack. So people are like, "Are you kidding me right now? You're not gonna give this guy an Emmy after
What an
he-"
actor.
No, literally, like no, but like, are you kidding me right now that you're not gonna give this guy an Emmy? And it's like it's a highly held show, is what I'm saying. So that's like one of the things that you're gonna see on Twitter right now, and everybody's specifically upset because the actor who won best drama lead or whatever was here I don't know how to say his name, Lee Jung whatever, from Squid Game. Um and everybody's upset because you're like, Squid Game was so popular. You're only giving it to him because it's popularity. I get it. I get it. But at the same time, Squid Game was so good. I mean, you could. I mean, come on now. Like, here's the thing. I didn't know at first. At first, I was like, they should have given it to Bob because he was a better actor than the dude. I think. I
Who
still
was it?
think that
Who got it from Squid Game?
the lead guy, the guy that won Squid Game.
Oh, the guy that actually
Yes,
won.
he was the
Okay.
lead, so they gave it to him. Although the girl was nominated for best actress and she didn't win. And the old guy was nominated for best like side character or something, and the director for Squid Game also won best director. He deserved that. Come on, he directed the show, right? How do you think of that
Yeah,
show?
yeah, that's brilliant. That was
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. But anyway, at first, and I still think that Bob is a better actor than this guy. But at first, I didn't know that they were only counting the first half of Better Call Saul. Next year, now that I find it fair now that Lee, whatever his name is, won the Emmy instead of Bob, because as long as Bob wins it next year and Better Call Saul gets the Emmys next year,
If.
right?
So you got to wait a whole year to find out if it was justified.
That's true, but I think if they do win next year, which I think they should, right? It only makes it fair. If if they do win next year, I don't think that anybody really. I mean, obviously,
I don't
it's
think they
still,
should win.
I
They've been shafted all these years. If they win next year, that'll ruin their record, their shaft record.
right. I mean,
So
come on now, but like, I don't know. I'm just saying, if they don't win next year, that sucks. It really really sucks. But if they do, which I think they will, because I think the public is gonna like have an outrage if they don't win again.
another thing that happened was I just happened to hear this. I didn't watch a second of that show. Uh, when they went through the dead people, the people that died from last year, they didn't mention Olivia Newton-John.
Yes, I noticed that. They which is crazy to me. They mentioned they had so many people on there, which of course I'm not like I don't know pop culture that well. Maybe I do. I don't know. But
You know about 7 Up and you know about Coke,
just shut up, Pop. Okay.
ginger ale,
Shut up, Dad. Shut up. Shut up.
Dr. Pepper.
Okay, thank you. They had people on there that I don't even know, which I'm sure they were like important people to the Television Academy, which is who runs the Emmys. But there was people on there that were like, behind the scenes people and all that type of stuff. And then they had like a segment where it was like important people. Nichelle Nichols was on there. Really cool. They had like her voice in the background. It was really cool. They had Betty White, and then the last one, I think, was Bob Saget. And I was like, you are celebrating Bob Saget, but you're not going to celebrate Olivia Newton-John, bro? That seems a little messed up. I mean, I'm not a
Well,
Bob Saget fan.
they should have mentioned both of them.
Right. I mean, obviously they should have. But what I'm saying is you're really going to mention Bob Saget and not Olivia Newton-John? Bob Saget had a lot of controversy around him, and I think he was probably most likely guilty of a lot of the things that he was accused of. That's all I gotta say. Also, he was found dead in a hotel. Wonder what he was doing there. That's all I gotta say. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, guys.
All right, let's go on to the football. Can we go on to our fantasy football?
Yes.
Now, our fantasy football team did very well this week. Our predicted worst team in the league status, again, Yahoo failed at that. We actually ended up third in the whole league out of 12. We were less than 5 points away from the second place team and less than 10 points away from the first place team. However, the way they work our fantasy league and most fantasy leagues is head-to-head competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to play one of the teams ahead of us. So we are 0-1, okay? Even though we were third best team in the league. And the only fair way really to do fantasy football is to go by points, which very few leagues go by points. Okay, I was in a couple leagues that went by points. And also, as far as the draft goes, the only really fair way to do the draft is to bring up each player and bid on him. And so everybody has a chance at each player. Okay? You got, a lot of your team depends on where you draft, what draft position you have. And if you don't have, like this year, the top 2 picks were the obvious picks coming out of the draft. Okay, it doesn't make any sense that everybody shouldn't have a shot at every player. So my perfect fantasy league would be bid on every player, and I was actually in a baseball fantasy league one year. That was the only year I was ever in baseball fantasy, but they did the draft so cool. Every player that was bought, every player that you want, you could bring up his name. Everybody had a chance to bid on this player. So however much money you want to spend on this player or players, you spent the money on, if you think they're worth it. But if I'm sitting there drafting 10th, right, I don't have a chance at the top 9 players in the league. I mean, a lot of times it's an advantage to draft later too, but there shouldn't be any advantage or disadvantage. It should be every player should be bought up and bid on. And then after that, after teams are formed, it should be points only. Top point getter in the whole league for the whole year is your champion. Okay, you could actually have the best team in the league and have the most points in the league and not win a game the way they do it here. As an example, we saw this week, we were the third high. We lost to the second high team. So If we had played any of the teams 8 and below, we'd have won. But it shouldn't matter. It should go totally by points because that's how the best teams lose out a lot of the times. So, anyways, I'm not crying. I'm not saying it could work the other way too. We could have a bad week and beat somebody that scores low points too. That's not fair either. What's fair is points only. But I'm not running the league, and um, if I was running my own league, we would draft every player would be bought up and bid on. I think that would be so much fun. I know it was really fun in my baseball league when I was in there for the one time. It was a fun way of doing it, and it takes a little bit longer, but you'd be surprised, not that much longer.
Yeah, I mean I like the idea, but at the same time I feel like it would be harder to do that, like adjust to it uh in football rather than baseball, right? I mean,
Why?
I mean, I feel like in football there's more, I don't know, it's a whole different game. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, even the fantasy score of football versus baseball is scored different. Uh,
I don't even remember how I did my baseball league. I think me and somebody else were in partners, and I think he just ran the team. I can't even remember. I don't even know how. I wouldn't even want to think about doing it every day. Who's starting today?
that's what I'm
I mean, it's hard
saying.
enough to do it a week, but you're given $100 bank. Okay, you got your $100 to spend. Every guy that you draft has to be at least a buck, something like that. Maybe you give it 150. Okay, every guy has to be at least $1 that you get, even if nobody bids on him. You get a dollar that you have to pay for him. So what you do is you bring up a guy that you don't really want. Like I would bring up Russell Wilson, for instance, right? So a lot of people like him, right? So they're going to bid on him. I don't want him, so they can they can bid. I bring up a guy that I want the bidding to go up on, that they're going to spend their money on, right? It's just it's. I mean, it'd be great. The draft would take probably ours takes usually about an hour,
Probably longer than that.
a little bit over an hour. This might take a little bit over 2 hours to do if you did it on
That's another thing. Like it's probably going to be harder to get people to actually do it because
I'm not
it's a
saying I'm going to
harder
do it. I'm saying
experience.
if that's the way, that's the right proper way to run a league if you want to really run a league, especially the point system. Okay, even if you don't want to do the draft thing, the point system is 100% the way you should do it. It's the only fair way to do it. And in our league, we have the high points in the league for each week gets a reward for that.
I find that fair. I find that very fair.
That's fair, right? But lose, when you're beating 8 out of the 12 teams in the league and you're not winning your game, it's not fair. Like I said, that could happen every single week. We could be third every single week and not win a game. We could just run into a hot team like we did this week. The opposition team had Jefferson and Barkley,
Yeah.
and they both went off. And between those two, I don't know how many they
I'll
had.
show you guys. All right. Now if we could just get our head to head up really quick. Maybe it's just not gonna load. I don't know. But oh, here we go. All right, so here's the team that we were against. I mean, we didn't lose by that much, but all right.
We lost by 4 points something, right?
Mhm. So here is a full look at of both of our teams.
Jefferson had 34.9.
Sorry.
Right, Jefferson had 34.9, and
Barkley had 30.4.
so between the two of them, they had over 65 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to overcome. Although we did have Cup. Of course, Cup's going to score 26.3. That's about the only guy that really dominated for us. The guy that killed us was our best tight end,
Mark Andrews, which is pretty funny.
But we saw the whole game, and he was wide open the whole game. And I don't know if Mr. Lamar Jackson, that turned down $50 million a year from the Ravens, is trying to get the ball to his wideouts, so people can't say he's one-dimensional. He just runs and throws to his tight ends. So I don't know what the reason was, but he was running wide open several times, and he never gave him the ball. And as well as our other tight end from the Ravens, which is Likely, which he didn't have any catches. They actually tried to get it to him 4 times, but every pass was just horrible from Jackson. Was like uncatchable. One he actually got his fingertip on, I think, but he wasn't looking at his tight ends. He was looking at his wideouts, and Duvernay caught 2 touchdown passes. He's a wideout. So, anyways, that's the end of our fantasy story for this week.
Mm-hmm. We'll update you guys next week if we win or lose, which, by the way, it's going to become a reoccurring pattern that we always lose to the number 1 team, that who scores the most points. That just happens all the time.
That happens a lot, but usually we're the person that, a lot of times, that scores the most.
Right.
And so we win, and we beat the team that scores like the second or third.
Right. I don't know. I'm not as confident on our bench as I was in previous years, but at the same time, I really am, because a lot of our bench is rookies, right? So rookies are mostly hit or miss, but I do have a lot of confidence in the rookies we have. I think they're really, really talented. It's just a matter of it's a matter of, a lot of the times, the quarterback. And I know I always say it's a team game, but like you said, if you have Lamar Jackson, he's not going to throw as much as Mahomes, you know what I'm saying?
But he's going to get more rushing yardage, although last week he only had 4.
Yes.
He hardly ran last week. I think he's trying to be somebody he's not this year, and I think it's going to hurt Baltimore because obviously he's worth more than $50 million per season.
Right. Now, would you like to go over our football predictions?
Yes, just the results.
Right, our results. Now, do you want me to go through each game? No? Wow, I did roll all this. You guys see all my notes. I wrote literally all that for nothing.
We can go over the games. I'll go over the game that was my big game, which was Denver over Seattle. Minus, I think I had him at 6 or 6.5, one or the other. And they fumbled twice inside the 1-yard line. They lost by 1 point. So if they would have got those touchdowns, they would have covered the game. Seattle got a total of 40 yards in the whole second half of that game.
Folks, if you want to win some money,
but we should have
bet the Broncos.
We should have won.
They are going to crush this team. That's his exact words that he said. And if it was possible for me to edit the actual live streams on my laptop, I would edit in that clip. And I would edit in a lot of stuff, but that's one of the stuff I would edit in for evidence, okay? Which I was hesitant, I kind of regret it. I did pick the Seahawks, by the way, which I noticed the Seahawks tweeted out a tweet that said, "Ain't nobody thought we was going to win that game." And actually, I said that you were going to win that game, even though the experts predicted that you would lose. I'm technically an expert, and I said that you would win because Russell Wilson is now on the opposing side. So
By the
let's
way,
ride.
another. I was talking before about how you can't go by stats in football. Now, Joe Flacco threw one interception, and his one interception he threw, it was wet where they were playing, which was New York. The guy went out for a pass, and he cut to the middle of the field and slipped and fell, totally just right on the ground. And so Flacco threw the pass, expecting him to be in a certain spot. Of course, he fell, so he wasn't there. And waiting for it was one of the safeties, easiest interception ever, right? Because the ball wasn't a bad throw. It was just because the guy fell. So he got an interception he didn't deserve. Meanwhile, Circle throws two balls that were bad passes, right in Seattle's hands,
Oh, Circle's Russell Wilson, by the way. I think they know that already, but.
and they were both dropped. I mean,
Mhm.
right in their hands. And he ended up with 0 interceptions. So his stat line looks a lot better than Joe Flacco's. When in reality, a guy that had one drive let the clock run out 2 times, and he's been in the league how long? 10 years, 12 years, whatever it is.
I think it's 12
All
years.
right. Well, he's been in the league for 12 years, and he still doesn't know to check on the clock. And several other times, actually, he almost let it run out too. And if you saw the touchdown he threw to Jerry Jeudy, an 87-yard touchdown pass, he actually threw that ball. Jeudy was wide open, and he threw up one of his balloons. And Jeudy had to wait so long for it. By the time it came down, the defender was there, and they actually both jumped up for the ball and had to. Jeudy actually had to kind of wrestle it away from him before he caught it and took off the rest of the way. If it was just a regular pass that any other quarterback would throw, he would have been gone. Nobody would have been within 5 yards of him. So just saying that.
Yeah, well, um, I am not a Russell Wilson fan. And by the way, if you're wondering why we're calling Russ Circle, it's because of the little circle he does every single time he goes to throw the ball, you know? Goes back.
Does a circle,
And
and
then
then
he's like, Hail
throws
Mary!
throws a balloon.
Exactly. There's a whoop. So that's the meaning behind it. And that would be a fun thing to do was go through a list of our nicknames and
Could do that.
who it's like a guide, you know, if you're confused, you go back to this guide. Who is Butthole Mouth? Oh, okay, I get it. Okay.
He's retired now.
Exactly, but just saying.
So
Um
is so is Snowman.
well, that's a teaser for next week when we when we actually do that. But um anyway, the Jets. I predicted that the Jets were gonna win because I really wanted Flacco to get a win against the Ravens.
Most of the experts predicted Baltimore would win. By the way, just saying.
Right. I go against the popular opinion. Anyway, I predicted the Jets were gonna win, which I knew was gonna kill me, but at the same time I had a little bit of confidence because it's Joey the Flag. Um, of course, there was the interception. He now I'm pretty sure Flacco was number 6, right? Of pass high
Fifth.
5th in passing yards uh this week, which you look at that, you hear that and it's like, "Oh, that's a nice stat line."
Throw a lot though.
Right, but he also has the worst offensive line in the league.
Everywhere
So
he goes.
everywhere he goes pretty much, but it's not, it's just a fact that the Jets have the worst offensive line in the league, and
Pass blocking for sure.
right. Anyway, Jets fans, I'm getting annoyed with you guys because at first in the what do they call it? Practice camp or whatever it is. Um every Jets fan that I saw on Twitter, on Instagram, they were all, "Go Flacco! The team looks so put together when he's at quarterback. Oh, Flacco threw another dart to Garrett Wilson. Oh, look at all the it." Okay. Then the third week of preseason comes. Flacco plays what, one, not even one quarter, right? Throws an interception. What happened there?
He was running for his life,
Well, yeah,
and he threw it back. Yeah.
right. He tried to throw the ball away, essentially.
It's a practice game.
Right, it's a preseason game. Then they brought in Mike White. All of a sudden, everybody wants Mike White to start for the Jets. He doesn't. Obviously, the Jets made the right choice, but who knows. Middle of the game, Flacco's trying to play his butt off with this crappy weather. Everybody's falling down. The ball's slipping out of everybody's hands. He's running for his life while defenders are just whooped right through the offensive lineman. And then halftime, the crowd starts cheering Mike White. Are you guys idiots? Do you think that you have a better chance of winning, realistically, with Mike White at quarterback instead of Flacco? Anybody in that situation would have done probably 10 times worse, especially putting Mike White out there.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They lost by 15 points, okay? Their kicker cost them 4. He missed an easy field goal and an extra point. Cost them 4 points right straight off the bat. Okay? The running back, what's his name? It's running back for the Jets.
Oh, okay.
Carter.
Yeah.
Carter has a pass in the end zone, hit him, literally a soft pass, short soft pass in the end zone, right between the numbers on a 4th down play. Drops it. Okay, that cost him 7 points. The rookie running back, the highly overrated rookie running back for the Jets, the guy that was supposed to take over Carter's position, catches a little short pass, runs about 5 yards. This is down by the Ravens goal line again, about the 20, fumbles the ball. Ravens recover. Okay, so that cost them at least 3 points, possibly 7 points again. Okay. Another play they had, Davis, wide receiver Davis. They're driving the ball down again. 3rd down and about 8, and he catches about a 10-yard. No, he had a 10-yard pass in his hands, and he dropped the ball. So that would have been a 1st down. So by all those points that got costed the Jets, just on those plays alone, they could have scored easily over 15 more points. Okay? Not mentioning that Flacco literally got hit 30 times. 30.
Yeah.
30 times. When he didn't get hit, they protected him good, he threw darts just like he did. He hasn't lost a thing. Still got the strong arm. He hasn't lost a thing, folks.
And so this is my problem. I was calling out the Jets fans, but it's really anybody. Okay, here's what they do. I'm sorry. Most football fans do not think with their brains. They're not watching the games. They go on Twitter. They go on Instagram. They go on whatever. They click on a 20-second highlight, look at a clip of Joe Flacco throwing an interception and go, wow, they should start Mike White. They look at one highlight clip and just determine that that's it. They look at one stat line and base their whole opinion of the player on that for that week. Then the next week comes, all of a sudden, something changes. They have a better stat line. All of a sudden, it's I never doubted you for a second. I knew that you were gonna be good and blah blah blah. Next week, oh no, they're mediocre. Oh, he's so mid. He's so overrated. I really can't believe this. Everybody switches up. Everybody just doesn't like if you just watch the full game and actually thought with your brains for a second, think about what was actually happening, maybe you guys could understand why Flacco is in the starting position right now. The people that are the Jets fans, really, that are out there.
Football fans are, in general, are just stupid. They're
Yes.
just stupid. Really, they just go by bottom line. Oh, he only threw 3 interceptions in his whole career. He's got to be the best quarterback there ever was. You can't say that in football. You got to watch the game. You got to watch.
Right. And so all really the Jets fans right now specifically that are out there commenting on all these Twitter posts, commenting on all these whatever posts that you use, okay? I say Twitter because I was fighting with Jets fans on Twitter earlier, which I was right because the person that was arguing with me ended up liking my tweet at the end and then just didn't respond. So I take that as a win. But I think that's right. I mean, come on.
I'd say.
Um anyway, if you are one of these Jets fans, which is the majority of you, or that are out here saying Mike White, Flacco is a piece of okay? You did not watch the game. And if you did,
right?
you do not use proper analyzing skills, okay? It's like it's a dull light, and I say that and not in a mean way, okay? Just saying it. So that's our little Flacco rant for the day. But like all I'm saying is the Jets actually probably should have won. And not saying that as a Flacco fan, but also as just factual. I mean, it's true.
I'm a Ravens fan, so we looked at it pretty.
Exactly. So taking that into account, I'm trying to defend myself for saying the Jets will win, and they lost, by the way. Which is that was my most out there pick. Okay, maybe the Seahawks are my most out there pick, but they won. So anyway.
We've been on over an hour.
Yeah, but it's fine. We've been on for an hour 13. This is the live clock right here.
Okay, let's get to our picks for this week. Never mind. We ended up with how many wins did you have?
I got 5 wins and you got 7 wins.
I got 7, so obviously.
So basically, I predicted 5 right. He predicted 7 right.
But in fairness to both of us, there was a tie, so nobody's going to predict a tie. So really, we weren't. We were 500, not under. And another thing is too, like we both picked the Falcones, right? Well, they lost in a close game, but guess what? They covered.
Yeah.
You know, as a gambler in football, to me that's a win. So a lot of these things, you know, a lot of these close games that we're losing, we're actually winning on our football bets. So, or my football bets.
Yeah, I've never gambled, guys. Don't underage gamble.
She turns 21 in a year and a half, so She can't wait for that.
All right. No, hold on, everybody. I had to switch over to Google Chrome because it didn't want to.
You bringing the games up for this week?
Trying to.
Okay. We will predict the games for this week quick. We obviously went a little bit overboard on our. Didn't realize it was that far.
Sorry. Hold on. It's still not. It's not coming up, guys.
Yeah, I can just bring it up on my
Yeah.
phone.
I mean, I have. Okay, I have it up on here. I have it up on here. It's just the screen's not working. So we're just gonna tell you guys the games. It's right here. I'm just gonna tell you
Oh.
guys the games. You just won't be able to see it on the screen because for whatever reason it's not working.
All right, they don't have to see it anyway.
Okay, so the first
They can-
game is
they-
Thursday night
Are they
game
watching
tomorrow.
us now?
Yes.
Okay.
The Thursday night game is tomorrow. It's the Chargers versus the Chiefs.
And I'm going to go with the Chefs again. They looked really good last week. They're at home, right? They're at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're at home. Chargers. I like Herbert. I love Herbert, but I love Mahomes too. So I'm going to go with
Kermit.
I'm going to go with Kermit at home. I'm gonna say they win again. A good over game.
Mm-hmm.
The back line's really high, but I'm gonna go with that.
I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out again. It's not gonna work.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna go with. I do want the Chargers to win, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs because.
Same.
You know, I mean, I think we both agree on that.
Yeah.
Going off of last week, the Chiefs
Which
have
you
a
can't
better.
do, of course.
Well, just saying. The Chiefs looked better than the Chargers.
Yeah, they did way better. Yeah.
Although I would rather have Herbert as a quarterback than Mahomes.
Could be a little bit of trouble there.
I'm just a Mahomes hater.
For Jennings-Ski.
I'm a Mahomes hater. All right. Okay, now we got the Patriots and the Steelers. Sunday, 1 o'clock. So Steelers actually suffered a little injuries.
Yeah, Watt's out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, we won against the Bengals, but at what cost? I saw a meme that said that. I was like, that's true.
They had no business winning that game, by the way. So
I love that they won that game. I was cheering for them actually, which is crazy, but
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers over the Pats. Pats,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, you just said it. I mean, worse than Trubisky.
Yeah, and I was gonna pick the Steelers too, because literally, Mac Jones. Like I always am hypocritical because I say it's a team game and then I always say the quarterback, but really, if you, the only chance they have is Harris.
Harris going crazy.
Yeah.
Or
Running
Stevenson or whoever runs the ball.
Right.
They have Montgomery too, the three-headed monster, I guess.
Right. So I mean, if the Steelers can actually stop the run, then they're gonna win, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be said against the Ravens too, maybe.
Panthers and the Giants.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I'm gonna believe in Baker again, even though he was.
He almost won last week.
Yeah. I'm gonna believe.
I think he's got a lot easier defense to go against this week because he's going against the Giants instead of Giants are at home coming off that win of theirs, their lucky win they had. So, but I'm going to go with the Panthers over the Giants. Close game, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna believe in Baker though. All right. Next we have the Jets and the Browns. Interesting. Another Flacco possibly showing up to show the AFC North.
They got a good pass rush. They got that Garrett, who's like the best in the league at pass rushing. And the Jets, unfortunately, have no offensive line. So I'm going to guess that they're not going to be able to protect Joe. And I'm going to say the Browns are going to beat the Jets.
I'm going to agree with that. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think that they're going to take Flacco out and maybe the halftime
After
because
the
he's
30th
getting
sack.
right after the 30th sack, and then it's like, oh, Joe, and then the whole crowd's gonna be like boo boo, and then they're gonna put Mike White in, and then he's gonna do even worse, and then they're
Crowd's not
definitely
going to be
not
booing
gonna
because
win.
it's at Cleveland. Crickets.
Mm. Well, the Jets fans in the crowd are gonna boo. Um, but you get my point. Then they're gonna put Mike White in, and then they're really screwed, and then they're not gonna win. So I'm gonna say the Browns,
Yeah.
but that's just a little off track prediction. Okay, next is the Colts and the Jaguars. We all know what I'm gonna say here, and it's gonna be the Colts.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Colts are heavy favorites in this game, although they tied Houston last week and probably should have lost that game. But I'm still, Jacksonville, I don't think is that bad. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout, but I think they're still going to win the game.
Okay. Mhm.
So we agree every 100% so far.
Yep. Okay.
Dolphins and the Ravens.
Next we have the Dolphins and the Ravens, and this is interesting because every time I see this matchup, I think of that. I think it was Thursday night game, when Flacco got the concussion. Remember that that was crazy. Every time I think I see it and I think, what was that guy's name who hit him? He was like the jerk.
I don't think he's in the league anymore.
Well,
They kicked him out after he hit Flacco.
yeah, he should be in jail.
Yeah.
No penalty, by the way.
They gave him to China.
No penalty. I'm gonna say the Ravens. Even though I think the Ravens are overrated, ironically, right now. Um, they struggled with the Jets last week. Not joking. And I just think that the Dolphins are gonna lose still because, I mean, I'm not impressed with Tua, and I haven't seen anything that really makes me think that the Ravens can't defeat the Dolphins overwhelmingly. So I'm gonna say the Ravens.
This game is going to be really tough for Baltimore because they have the defensive backs are out. They had a guy Fuller get hurt for the year. He's out for the year. Um, so they have Humphrey still, but other than him, they got a couple rookies in there. They have this Brandon Stevens who absolutely stinks, and they think he's good. They have seems like they got a guy like that every year.
Mm-hmm.
He can't cover anybody, and he's actually going to be covering one of those tough receivers from the Dolphins, Waddle and Hill. They have. It's going to be a tough game. I'm going to if the point spread is 3.5 in this game. If I was going to bet the game, I would bet Dolphins plus 3.5. If I was going to bet the front line because it's going to be a close game. I will say the Ravens win in a really, really tight game, like a 1-point game.
Yeah, well, like every year, the Ravens are just gonna pile up their injuries.
The last time they played the Dolphins, they got crushed. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, but different year. All right, Buccaneers versus the Saints. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers too. Saints are the Saints. I think this game's going to be close, but I think the Buccaneers are going to win. The Buccaneers they run the ball, they take their time. They get a lot of time off the clock every time they get the ball. So even though both teams are probably going to score, come close to scoring every time, be careful of the over because Brady takes a long time now. Probably just because he's like 90.
Like I said, I hope the Saints win. That would be cool. But realistically, I'm gonna have to go with the Buccaneers. Very sorry, Saints fans. All right, the next one is the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. I think this is gonna be a close game. Me personally. And I don't know. I feel like this could go both ways. TBH. But um dude, I don't know. I want to say Commanders cuz my number one boy is on the Commanders. Did not McLaurin, by the way, is my boy. He McLaurin, they did not even like throw to him. I think they threw to him like once.
Carson Wentz.
Exactly. So I'm gonna have to switch up on the Commanders right now, I think, just because they only threw to him once, McLaurin once, and I'm gonna have to say the Lions.
I think the Lions win easy. I think the Lions win this game easily. They got off to a real bad start and they almost came back against Philadelphia and lost by like 3 last week. Um, I think they've become better prepared this week, and they don't really even have to be prepared against Washington. They're going to win. They're going to win pretty easy, I think. By the way, we still got the same picks.
No,
Which one do we pick different?
we picked the. Oh, maybe we do.
I think we do.
I think we do too. I don't know. I'll go back and watch it. Doesn't matter. Okay, now this one's interesting. The Seahawks and the 49ers. And this is interesting because they were two of the very most favorited people in their game last week, and they both lost. So,
Seahawks lost.
oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was thinking, god damn it.
I don't think they were.
Just shut up. I was trying to think.
I think they were pretty much underdogs last week.
You should have stopped me when I said that. You know what I was
I
thinking.
did stop you.
No, you stopped me too late because now I look like
I could
an
have let you go
idiot.
on and
I was
on.
thinking that the Seahawks played. Will you silence your dang phone? I'm getting mad now, okay? I was thinking because the Seahawks played the Broncos, I was thinking the Broncos.
It was a big spread, and they both lost. 49ers and the Denver both lost.
Yes, that's what I was going for.
Okay, well, the Seahawks are at the 49ers, so who do you got?
I think we're gonna disagree, Dad. Because it's 2 weeks in a row, baby. Geno Smith. Seahawks.
God.
Go Hawks. Actually, no, really, I'm cheering for the 49ers to win. But I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because I'm never gonna doubt them again.
Well, San Fran had a tough, rainy, really, really rainy first. We were watching them squeegee the field before the game started. Um, so that's no excuse because Chicago had to play in the same thing, right? But um, the rookie quarterback, I think, is going to do a lot better this week, and he better throw to Debo more than 2 times if he expects to win the
Exactly.
game.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was
He
about to say
completed
that.
2 passes to Debo for like 15 yards. So, yeah, the Seahawks, like I said, may not win another game this year besides that. So I'm going to go with the 49ers to kick butt.
I'm never gonna doubt the Seahawks again. The um the Falcons and the Rams is the next game.
Hmm
Um,
Marcus Mariota.
right. I was actually kind of impressed with Mariota.
He actually ran a lot better than I thought he'd run.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, I'm still gonna have to go with the Rams here. Cup. Cooper Cup.
Yeah, the Rams are going to win.
I mean, they just have the more talent. Sorry. And also, the Falcons are still the biggest chokers known to man.
Even though Matt Ryan's not on the team
Yeah,
anymore.
Matt Ryan's not even there, and they still choke. So maybe Matt Ryan wasn't the choker all along. Maybe it was a Falcons curse.
His team tied Houston on the road. Let's not forget that.
Oh,
So he's still Matt
so
Ryan.
it's both.
He's
It's
still Matt
both.
Ryan.
Okay, right.
I'm going to go with the Rams also. I actually hope the Falcons win. I'm going to be rooting for the Falcons, but now the Rams are gonna come back at home and win one.
All right, the next one is the Cardinals and the Raiders. I'm going to go with the. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I think Kyler is far more talented than Carr. Um, but I don't know because and also I'm Devont. They have Devontae, and bro's crazy. But I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say the Raiders.
I'm also going with the Raiders. This is the overrated quarterback bowl.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
think Murray, I think, is so overrated. He just runs around.
I
He
still
doesn't.
think Murray's better than
He's
Carr.
elusive, but he doesn't have like the speed to like get away from anybody. Um, Carr doesn't have anything but standing in the pocket, but um, he's still got. I want to say he's got better receivers than the Cardinals got, and the Cardinals just looked pathetic last week. Their defense
Yeah.
looked horrible. So, granted, they played the Chiefs,
I
right?
still think I think it's gonna be an interesting game to watch, though. This I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be a nice game to watch,
Mm,
but I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
okay. All right. Next, we got the Texans and the Broncos.
Can Circle win a game?
Oh my God! You know what? Texans all the way. I'm not even joking.
You're predicting the Texans over the
Yes,
Broncos.
yes. Because first of all, the Texans are trash. But like again, if I can go against the Broncos, if I can keep predicting against the Broncos and they keep losing, that would be awesome for me. And honestly, the Broncos looked trash.
Second half, though, they look pretty good.
Trash.
They looked pretty good in the second half.
Trash.
They didn't give up anything in the second half on defense.
Still
And their
lost.
offense, they throw the ball every time they had it. They got a field goal from the 5.
Fumble.
And inside the 1, they got 2 fumbles.
Exactly.
So,
So hey, that's just the force of nature. They want the Broncos to lose, and I'm with that. So I'm gonna say the Texans.
horrible call,
And
by the way,
also,
in that 4th and 1. I thought the Ravens coordinator took over and ran it right up the middle.
but also, I need to spark a little disagreement within us because we're just gonna have the same thing. I need to try to catch up to you in wins. So go.
You're not going to do it like that because the Broncos, you want to make some money.
Say it again because then
No.
it gives me better luck.
No, I don't even know what the point spread is in this game. To be honest with you, I didn't even look at that game for point spread. But I know who my big game is this week. Okay, I already know. We haven't got to it yet. I will let you know. I'm going to go with the Broncos to beat them up pretty badly at home. They got to be pissed coming off of that game the other night where they should have won and covered, by the way. But they didn't, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, the Broncos Bengals and the boys. Both looking for their first win, by the way.
I think the vampire is going to indulge in some blood before this game.
4 picks he threw last week. The vampire didn't get enough blood. Them like you
Didn't
probably you could tell.
Weren't you the one that ranked Burrow?
In my top 10?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's my top 10.
Anyway, I think that Burrow is going to not be dehydrated this week. He's going to get some good blood donations in, and he's going to kill the Cowboys. Annihilate, some would say.
Well, I was planning on waiting until the night before to see how many people died of loss of blood. But I'll have to predict it here since we're only on Wednesday. So I'm going to predict the Bengals behind the vampire will defeat the Cowboys. I don't even remember the quarterback's name that's coming in there.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
Backup quarterback that came in last week.
I forgot.
Actually, Dak looked so bad anyways. It really didn't matter if he got hurt.
That's another thing.
He looked horrible.
They might do better without Ray Dakota there.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Bengals. We both went with the Bengals, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next game is the Bears and the Pack.
The Bears are taking this one.
No, the Pack is going to take this one. They're at home. Bears aren't usually good at swatting flies. They land on them and they pretty much miss them every time. So I'm going to go with the fly over the Bears. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but they're going to...
No, I think it's going to be close.
They're going to win by, I'll say, 10.
I think this year's going to be another one of those Packers seasons where it's like, what is going on with you guys? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's every other Packers season where it's just like...
Well, when they couldn't figure out to put 2 guys on Jefferson until...
You're right.
Until after he had like...
That's what I was going to say, too, is that...
300 yards, you know.
If their defense is going to perform the same way, the Bears are going to take it.
No.
That's my opinion. It's an opinionated show.
I think that was a coaching error last week, but my opinion.
Well, maybe it was, but they have the same coach, don't they?
They do, but the Bears don't have any good receivers. They got Mr. Mooney, but...
Yeah, don't you dare disrespect Mr. Mooney like that ever again. Watch the underdogs, the underdogs. Not the Eagles.
Hard to believe he's still playing after all these years, after the Lucy show. Mr. Mooney.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
All right, next up we got the Titans and the Bills Monday night. 2 Monday night games.
Yes, there are two Monday night games this year. And it brings me to my lock of the week. The Buffalo Bills, who are still being disrespected at only a -10 against the Titans. This is not going to be a close game. The Bills basically could have wrote the score up last week. Any score they wanted to against the Rams, on the road against the Rams. This Titans team comes in who's lost to the Giants at home, okay? That's how bad they are. They lost to the Giants at home. They have Henry, and that's it. They have Henry. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Henry.
Yep.
So, the defense isn't even as good this year. So, I'm going to say Buffalo's going to score on anyone and everybody. Right? Them in Kansas City, that would be a good game to watch. But the Bills got the Ravens before that, so that'll even be a better game to watch in Baltimore. So
I'm also gonna have to go with the Bills, and I hate saying it because that's all I hear around here.
everybody.
Right. but it's the Bills. Like you said, literally the only person that the Titans have is Henry. Like that's if they win a game, it's only gonna be because Henry had a monster day. You know what I'm saying? I
They
mean,
had AJ
really,
Brown last year, and then they got rid of him. So
quite sad, isn't it?
yeah, why would you do that?
Anyway, the last game, the second Monday night game, is the Vikings and the Eagles. The Eagles.
Eagles overrated.
Did you just say that about the underdogs?
They're not underdogs anymore. They're favored against the Vikings by 2. So the Vikings are a pretty good pick this week too, but only 2 points. So that's not a lot of points to work with. But this team gave up 35 to Detroit. This Eagle team. So I don't know if they're going to find a way to cover Jefferson or not. If they do the backers way and just keep him one-on-one until he's got 2 touchdowns and like 300 yards, then I guess they're going to have trouble too. But I think the Vikings are going to win this game either way. Their defense is going to not totally shut down the Eagles, but they're going to shut them down more than the Eagles would shut the Vikings down. So I'm going to go with
I,
Minnesota.
I agree. Um, I agree with the Vikings pick, even though I have a place in my heart for the Eagles, because literally that year of them being the underdogs where they won the Super Bowl was I'm telling you probably the best playoff run I've seen besides the Ravens in 2012.
So what did you really think about that?
Are you trying to do Gruden right
No,
now?
I wanted you to do.
I'm telling you, man. These Eagles, man. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, they were really the underdogs, man, and that's what's really crazy about it, man. I mean, I'm telling you, they were just plowing through these guys. I mean, plowing through these teams. Everybody was doubting him, and every week it was just like, wow, man, they really got something, man.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's the last game on our schedule.
So that's it. I think we agreed on most of them.
Yeah, except for a couple.
That kind of controversial. Um, because I'm the only one in the world that probably said uh, those picks. But anyway, we went way over the time limit, and that's okay. This will just be a do and da special. Am I right? Um,
Surprise!
surprise. Um, anyway, same bat time.
Same bad channel.
Goodbye, everybody.